So, but what I'm saying is we need to wait to, quote, get started until we're actually live.
And that's now.
So give me a moment.
Tori, we can barely hear you.
Okay.
Or I can.
Is that better?
Okay. I think we're good to go.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Glad you joined us today for the Homelessness Liaison meeting, monthly meeting, actually, usually the last Thursday of the month at 7 p.m. We approximately last for 1 hour, and we have round robin, community concerns, and things that are going on that the general public do not know about the process and the policies and procedures that are occurring with actual human beings that are experiencing homelessness. So right now, we can go ahead and have a public comment. Or Laura, you can go ahead and do the welcome and not the welcome,
Well,
the preliminary.
yes. So I'm assuming you guys can see the shared screen with the agenda. So I would like to draw everyone's attention to one determination to continue to hold our meetings at UNNC virtually. The Board of Neighborhood Commissioners and the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment have established that BOC has the authority to adopt AB 361 findings, and that's on behalf of the city's neighborhood councils, and to determine that due to the COVID-19 state of emergency, that meeting in person would present imminent risks to the health or safety of attendees. So this meeting is being conducted virtually pursuant to that directive. I'm your Zoom host for the evening. Tori Bailey is actually the chair. And I think, Tori, the next things are the introductions. And then, but before you get there, because I'm going to unshare the screen because I have unstable internet. And the other items on the agenda are public comments, and that's on things not on the agenda. A discussion about what happened at the Mayfair and presumably there are other Project Room Key hotels. It's a lawsuit program that's seemingly gone wrong. A round robin discussion on current issues. And if we get to it, an initial discussion of UNNC's, the Homelessness Liaison Committee's goals for this coming fiscal year. So I'm going to stop the share so that I can participate. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you, Laura. I'm going to redo the welcome. Seemingly, we were not live yet at 7:01. So
Correct.
I'd like to welcome everyone for being on this call for our Homelessness Liaison meeting, our community meeting for CD10 that happens usually every fourth Thursday, or say if we have 5 Thursdays, it'll be the last Thursday. Most of the time we try to do the last Thursday so people can keep track, at 7 p.m., averaging 1 hour, talking about things that are happening to humans who are actually experiencing homelessness. So right now, I would like to do intros of the people that are on the line. If you don't mind, we can start with Laura.
Oh, right. Well, again, my name is Laura Myers. You may see me on this call as UNNC because this is UNNC's Zoom license and I'm the host. I'm on the governing board and I live in Angeles Vista.
Okay, thank you. Next person is Fire Tablet.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, my name is Aaron Slape. I'm a resident in, I guess, Arlington Heights. And this is my first time at one of these meetings.
Oh, wonderful. Welcome.
Thank you.
Beverly? Is Beverly there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hey, Tori, what's up, girl?
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Absolutely.
You'd like to introduce yourself?
Oh, yeah, Beverly Rowe, West Adams.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Donna?
Hi, everyone. Donna Jones from West Adams Avenues.
Yes.
Nice to be here.
Thank you for being here. Ethan Long Henry?
Hi, this is actually Ethan's wife, Sarah. I'm on the governing board, and my husband's interested in this topic as a community member, so we're both here.
Oh, wonderful. And husband's name is Ethan and you're Sarah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
thank
Sarah.
you.
Sorry.
That's okay. I heard you. This is Tori. Okay.
Hey, Sarah, is it okay if I rename you guys to Sarah and Ethan?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that. I'll do it.
Okay.
Okay. And Nuriel?
Yeah, so my name is Nuriel. I'm a governing council member, newly joined. I live in the Harvard Heights neighborhood. This is, I think, also my first committee meeting, so I'm excited to be here and join you guys. An issue that's really important to me as well.
Yes, I appreciate that for being important, and thank you and welcome you all. This is a very necessary topic for a multitude of reasons. And one being I'm working directly with the homeless, and it has dispelled a lot of myths for me that the general public believe it to be. But right now I'm gonna open up for public comments, and public comments can be anything that's not on the agenda. So feel free. Who would like to come next on a public comment? Now I know everyone has opinions and conversations about this off the call, so let's keep it lively so we can come up with some solutions.
Oh, girl.
Tori, I did send you a picture of the gentleman at 7th. And
Yes, I saw that.
he's been there ongoing every day in the same position. Is there someone that we can reach out to that can help that man? Because he
Yes.
definitely has, homelessness is not his major concern. You can see that.
Right. I saw that.
So
And
who
he's at
and what
7th.
can we do?
He's at 7th and what?
Remember, I think I told you Alameda,
Alameda? Okay.
downtown.
Yeah, yeah. In that same position. Okay, I will be able to identify him, or maybe you can take me to him so I can talk to him. And then
So
I can identify some things.
No, my friend Linda actually goes to, she works, and there is a warehouse that she rents because she is a set decorator. And she goes there. I have no idea, like I said, I can't, it's just something she's seen and has concern about, as well as
Okay.
the people at that particular space are
Yeah.
worried because he stands there like that. We don't even know how he's
Yeah,
upright. We can't even say why he's upright. So
that is amazing, because I looked at that position. I was like, wow. Okay, but that's near some new container units that I believe is Hilda Solis has funded or instrumental in funding. Maybe they have something, but let's see what the issue is first and get him some mental health help.
yeah.
Yeah, because that's
I mean, if he was around here, I would have the police there, you know that, or something.
well, we gotta, police should not be the first responders anymore.
Well, if you have someone else that I can
Yeah,
call, I will
I
make
do.
sure she gets it. Who
Okay.
that would actually come. So as I
Yeah.
said, I know my senior lead would go and call the other units that they work with, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure about downtown.
Yeah, we have a one that's close to where I am with the people, and it's not far from there actually. But I would like to at least see if he talks, if he communicates, and what it is that he may need. But I have a number that we can reach out to them to go out, and they take it from there.
Tori, there's
And
also
report back.
Tori, there's also the lady that's at the north end of the 10 on the Sound Wall Bridge, right at 8th Avenue South for several years.
8?
On the, yeah, so at the very north sound wall of the 10 freeway, which is Wilshire Division section, that's where the divide is, right at the freeway. There's a little Black lady who's in a tent right by the gate that used to be used to cross over the bridge, but it's locked for obvious reasons. So she's right there in a tent, and she's been there for several years.
Yeah, she may be one of those that don't want any help, but we'll see, because we used to, Dorita and I went walking around the neighborhood, but I'll go back.
Yeah,
I-
she's
I-
there.
I-
She's there by herself, and she's been there, like I said, she's been there for a few years. And my concern for her is that there are a lot of RVs parked up and down that side of the freeway wall, the sound wall. And there, of late, I've seen a lot of guys that are sitting over there in groups, and she's by herself. And I don't know how safe it is for her to be by herself with a lot of the riffraff that hangs over there as well. I do understand from other community people who also have seen her that she does suffer from mental illness. So a heads up on that.
I wonder if it's the one I talked to before. Okay. One of these days, this week, this week is over. Next
For
week,
real.
would you like to meet and go over there with me?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
I would definitely do that. Just
Okay.
let me know what time works for you. I'd be more than happy to go over there with you.
Yeah, any day after 2:30. But
Okay.
let me give you my number. It's 310-991.
I have it, Tori.
Okay, make sure.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
just give me a call and let me know what day is good for you ahead of time.
Okay, gotcha.
We'll take it from there and just go
Oh,
over there instead
yeah.
of, repetitive reporting.
And
Okay.
actually, Tori, this is Nuriel. I'd love to come with you sometime as you go around, walk around, talk to folks in the neighborhood, so I can get to know sort of the area as well. I'll shoot you my phone number in a chat message here if you wouldn't mind texting me. If that's all right with you.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm gonna text you my number because.
Okay, good.
Right now. Okay.
You said 310-991.
6622.
Great, I'll text you right now. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, I'm putting it in the chat right now. Okay, so any other public comment? We have 2 individuals that we could potentially help within the next 7 days. Next.
I wanted to mention 28th and Crenshaw. As I
Yeah.
told you, they have cleared nearly all of it. I'm not sure. The last little space, alleyway still has quite a bit
Ugh.
that
Okay,
needs
right
to be dealt
behind
with.
Taco Bell, right?
Yes, next to it
Directly
and behind it.
Okay.
But the
directly
street
behind.
that has been full for years now,
Yeah. Back
as
there.
I told you, it has been slowly brought right to the driveway. It's been cleared. I'm not
Yeah.
sure who's doing it, but it has nearly been totally cleared.
Yeah, remember I told you it's been a slow process, but it's been photos have been taken. They have been sent to one of the organizations that was helping with the police was helping, but they weren't the initial contact. So there was a process and there was a timeline. They was taking it in order. So they finally got to them. Okay, so but it seems like a slow process to everyone else, but I know when they're working on things because I get the emails and the photos. Okay, that's 3 areas.
Okay, now let me correct you for the downtown thing. My friend sent me 14th at Alameda, 14th Street. He's been there just like in that position I showed you. She took the picture for 3 years.
No way. 14th and Alameda. Okay.
14th Street at Alameda.
Yeah, I just was on 14th 3 days
She
ago.
just
Let's see.
sent me the other day that picture, so you have it.
Wow. Okay. Well, okay. 14th and Alameda.
So they can't not see him
So yeah, if he's on Alameda, yeah.
at 14th.
Yeah,
And
I
he's
got
been
you.
there 3 years. So
In that same position.
people don't even believe that he can maintain that position.
Yeah, that's an odd position. It really is. Oh, it'd be interesting to go talk to him. Yeah, Nerio, we could go on an adventure next week.
Yeah, be happy to.
That'd be fun. Okay, so
Yeah.
next, any other public comment? That's for
Yes, I was hoping to get to talk to you about a problem we're having in my neighborhood, on my block specifically,
which is
it's 5th and 23rd is the intersection right where I'm at. We're right by the freeway wall. I believe the area that you were just talking about with the riffraff with the RVs, someone was just speaking of.
Yeah, that was me.
Yes, that's, yeah, the riffraff has moved to right in front of my house.
Oh my God.
Over the past 2-3 weeks, they've sort of been migrating down here. And honestly, we're at a loss to figure out what the heck can be done, to help alleviate this problem. I mean, I've tried to do a lot of research online, and I'm coming up with people saying there's nothing, there aren't any solutions coming. And we've got people coming in and out of this one RV that's parked right in front of my house all hours of the night. People driving up, going in for 2 minutes and leaving. So you can guess what's going on there. And we've talked to a lot of our neighbors, and they're all pretty upset about this too. And just wondering, like, what are our,
well,
do you
there's
guys
there's a lot of choices we could do in that particular case. I just like to assess the situation before I even call anyone. So if you want to call me next week, we'll come by there. Nuriel and Beverly, we'll come by your place too. And so
No, that's in the same area. That's in the same area that I was talking, where the lady sits there in the tent, the solo tent by herself.
Right, but it's two different incidents and two different type of situations.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's let's count that as 4.
Are you north of the freeway or south of the freeway?
North.
Oh yeah. You need to talk to your senior lead. So Officer Roditis, and I can share his number with you.
Yeah,
I'll give you my number. If you call me, I will send you his number.
Okay,
that would put it in the chat, Donna.
I can try.
Yeah, just put it in the chat, because he's not the only one north of the freeway. But that particular situation sounds like it can be an LAPD call.
Intervention. Yeah.
We've tried calling that, and we've gotten our pushback from the dispatcher saying we don't,
Yeah, because they're not really doing harassing like that, and then unless you know for sure. But we can go over there. Next week when we do our call to the lady, we can also call you. So put your number in the chat as well, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
What was your number?
We can call you and let you know we're coming.
Okay.
My number's in the chat. You can call me.
Okay.
Text me.
Okay.
All those double digits. Yeah.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll have an adventure next week. Okay. Okay. Anything else? Public comment?
I have my hand up. So this is Laura. So the thing is that I know I'm familiar with what it looks like at 23rd. This is the north side of the freeway. And it is a growing number of RVs. There's even a school bus. And that doesn't mean that every single occupant of every single RV has visitors coming every 2 minutes, coming and going. So, in other words, that's probably criminal activity. I'm very concerned that the city hasn't really pursued the parking lot options, because honestly, the people living in their RVs are mostly people living in their RVs because they don't have a home, but at least they're not in the underbrush on the freeway. So I mean, I don't even know anything else to say. It's just a growing number of those RVs along the north side of the 10 freeway in Arlington Heights at this location, but also between, I mean, it's just too many. So
yeah, but they're all in that same vicinity. I know I went there a long time ago.
Yeah.
What's
and I drive by it every day on my way from my house north of Washington to the avenues where I'm, you know, working and sitting at the moment. So,
Right.
okay, and again, it's conflicting because many of these people are just people who are living in a house that happens to be on wheels.
Right.
Right.
That's why you go. That's why you can't lump them all together. They have
No,
to be separate incidences.
Well, there's
No,
a guy, there's another guy that lives across the street on 7th Avenue, on 7th Avenue. And I spoke with him a couple of weeks ago. And here's the problem with that area on the north side of the sound wall is one day you might have 5 RVs and then the next day you might have 10 RVs. And it's not so much that they're living. The problem is the trash and the feces
yes, thank
and the
you.
smell that comes along with it. So I don't have a problem, you know. Here's the thing with the city. We have city council people that make $207,000 a year. And while we were all in a COVID lockdown, the parking lot, which we only have one parking lot for the entire city of LA to tow these vehicles to, is full. And it's been full for 2 years. No one in the city council ever thought to think, well, oh my God, we're going to end the moratorium and we got to get these vehicles off the street into a tow yard, and the ones that are there in the tow yard now should have already been dismantled and destroyed. So no one does their job, which is so annoying to me on the city council. No one does it. No one said, hey, let's start working on that. Duh. So now you have 10 to 15 RVs parked along that sound wall up and down from the end of, I guess it's 4th Avenue, all the way to Crenshaw.
Oh, it's further than that. Trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me, it's further than that. But the thing is, they supposed to have a solution and some action last month, but
Right.
then they realized that they didn't have the space to.
City council voted May 15th to start towing.
Yes, they did. However, they only had one tow company that had the capability or the capacity to tow any of them.
Right.
Okay, that's number one. Before they instituted a plan and proposed a date, they should have looked at the capacity
That's what
that
I'm
they had
saying.
before they even did that.
That's what I'm
So
saying.
the second thing is, just like we have safe parking for vehicles, for cars, they should create a safe parking for RVs, like an RV park.
Absolutely.
And you don't go around destroying someone's home
Right.
when the whole goal is to house the homeless. So if they would just create some safe parking for RVs and do the same process, because I've put a couple of people in safe parking because some of the safe parking at least had a shower and a sink.
Right.
And facilities for them to go to the restroom. So it's like, it sounds simple to me as opposed to trying to tow all these things. Can you imagine? Now, as far as all the trash and the debris and all that, each one of us can take responsibility and call 311. I wouldn't have 10 neighbors call 311 for the same location. That gets redundant, haphazard, and annoying. But if you could designate one person to call 311 and document the day you called, how long it took for them to come clean it up, and let's compare some notes, then we could be more effective and efficient with getting this stuff done. So that's one thing, because 311, I've been calling throughout the city and they've come. I mean, they've cleaned it up. It depends on where it is. So let's, at the same time, when we go out, we'll do the same thing. And we'll take turns and do it, for each area. Because sometimes the whole time was pretty ridiculous, but it seems to have gotten better lately. Anything else?
Just that I think 311 is almost impossible. If you
Yeah,
get
it
good,
works.
if you're
It
lucky
works.
for you, that it works for you. It does not work for me. I have
Well,
to do,
depending on what time of day,
I
I
have
guess.
a
I
lot
don't know.
more to do in order to get it done, but I do get it done. I
Yeah,
did put for people north of the freeway, I gave you 2 slow numbers that work the area. And at one point, as I told you, Tori, right next to the school at the corner of Arlington and Washington, there were 4 RVs parked within probably 150 feet of the school, which
Oh, I thought
that
they.
should not, that shouldn't even be allowed to happen. And I
No,
threw
it
enough
shouldn't.
of a fit, they made sure they were moved away.
Yeah, I
So,
was gonna say I knew those were moved. Arlington and yeah,
yeah,
Washington.
and you know that a
Oh, then they parked.
biohazard next to a elementary school is not. And that was next to an oil field, oil
Oh, good.
pumping facility. So talking about biohazard. Okay, so these are
So,
contacts.
Donna,
Yes,
Roditas, the telephone number didn't appear.
didn't?
No.
Yes, it did. Wait
Oh,
a
it
minute.
didn't?
I haven't in, I just finished typing it in. There you go.
There
Does
it
that
is.
look okay?
Yes.
Perfect.
And Hector Marquez.
Yeah, make sure you guys copy that down so you can keep that handy.
Right. And yeah, in fact, everyone should, this is Laura again, save the chat. Since we're only live streaming this one to YouTube, it does not automatically save the chat. So to save the chat, what you would do is open the chat first, and then where you see it says to everyone, over on the right-hand side, there's 3 little dots.
Okay, there it is.
And on the 3 little dots, just click on that and you will see as an option save chat. So you should do that throughout the meeting and at the end.
All right, so
And
you can see
for the iPhone
there was the
visitor,
original
we can hear your noise.
138 there, and then with the discount, it became 103.
iPhone 4,
Correct.
can you mute yourself?
Okay, I'm going to try to.
Just hit the microphone. There you go. All right.
No, I muted him, but he might need to ask permission to unmute, in which case I'll give it to him.
Okay. Go ahead and finish your explanation of the chat copy. Laura. Did everyone get the method to copy the chat and save it? I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're
Thanks.
welcome.
Tori, I
Okay.
have the address for the man that's standing. It's 1818, which I'm going to put it in the chat, East 14th. I wrote to my friend and she did a Google
Okay.
shot. So I'm going to put it
Okay.
there. Make an effort at least.
1818. East 14th?
Yes,
Okay, so it's on the east side of Alameda.
that's right.
1818. 18 East Alameda. Okay, perfect. Okay, I have that one.
And I'm
Yeah.
sorry, 1818 14th Street at Alameda.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm putting it in chat.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so that'll be our adventure as well. But see, well, we'll talk about that when we get to the goals. Any more public comments? Okay. Okay, so we'll move on and I'll talk about an incident that's occurring, has occurred as of last week. The Mayfair Hotel, it was some articles in the LA Times, but for some reason it wasn't coming up today because I wanted to send it to Laura so we can just glance at it. But I'm gonna just give you a brief description of what occurred. And it came to me from at least 4 different individuals that were residents of the Mayfair. So within less than 30 days, all the residents were given a notice saying they had to move. Now, mind you, this is about 194 homeless. So apparently the building was sold, asking price 80 million. Think it's sold for 60 million. So that means everyone has to move. Now, if they're case management, they were there as an interim. This is like a Project Room Key that you've been hearing about on the news.
Yeah.
This was in Gil Cedillo's district. And I emailed his homelessness liaison, with no avail. When you talk about city council, it's like, really, what are they doing? Can you at least respond to say, well, I can't make it today. I can make it next week. Or say something. I passed through, I spoke to Lhasa, something. So I gave them enough notice. As soon as I found out about it, I asked, and I even went down to his office and to explain the urgency, because a couple of the cases that I was aware of were domestic violence cases. Now, mind you, a lot of the, I won't say a lot, but a few of them were well-to-do, brought up in a well-to-do manner, and something occurred in their life that threw them off kilter. So when I got wind that they were going to put everybody out, it was so haphazard, the process that they were giving to the individuals and the clients. This was overseer of LASA, which is the Los Angeles Homeless Service Authority. And they had two agencies working on their behalf, which was Chrysalis and Health Youth Council. I'm like, okay. When
So,
they were moving,
Tori, this
Yeah.
is Laura. I can share the screen with the Spectrum News story if you'd like.
oh, okay, that would be great.
I believe I can. We're going to try.
Okay, that would be wonderful. Let's see if they get the same story. But the bottom line is some of the employees stole a lot of their merchandise.
Oh, do you see, does everybody see a screen?
I can
Yes.
see it. I can see
Okay.
Laura.
And Daniel Dickerson has yet to figure out where he's going to sleep tonight. He's just abandoned his tent after a local gang showed up this morning with guns.
What audacity to think that I should be allowed to live somewhere. Yeah, I guess I should just go die somewhere, because that's what they want.
Until this week, he's had a room at the Mayfair Hotel thanks to Project Room Key, a federal pandemic program that paid for hotel rooms to get the homeless off the street. FEMA is ending the program this fall.
I said, oh, okay, so I'm just going to go back to the sidewalk and don't let the door hit me in the ass on the way out. And she goes, yeah.
On July 1st, there were 215 people sheltered at the Mayfair. By Friday, there were only 2.
I think Laura's
Carmela Fitzpatrick is also on the street, though she's counting her blessings because she still has her RV. She's looking for her friend Scott. No one has seen him since the Mayfair closed.
It's very scattered.
even worse. They said 200.
Some people have been just another hotel that's part of the project. Some people have gotten their Section 8 in their location. Some people have not.
A few Room Key hotels will provide shelter through September. Councilman Kevin DeLeon's office says there are about 600 people still at the LA Grand, and a third of those have emergency housing vouchers but haven't found landlords to accept them. He says LA's Homeless Services Authority, LASA, failed to plan for this moment. Quote, LA cannot afford to go back on the promises made to the PRK participants. My staff and I have doggedly requested a ramp down plan from LASA on multiple occasions, and the lack of follow through has been a huge concern. LASA was unable to comment for the story. Dickerson was turned away from the grant because they can't verify he's vaccinated for COVID-19, even though he was just in another hotel. It's nearly impossible to keep track of documents when you're homeless.
I have borderline personality disorder. Schizoaffective disorder, bipolar.
Yep, always more than one.
Yeah, usually.
Type.
Definitely.
PTSD and
Tori, just go ahead and tell me when we're done.
We're done.
TD.
Yes.
FEMA funded Room to help citizens
But that's good
find
information.
a place to quarantine during the pandemic.
Wait, I'm missing that.
It became a catch-all for the unhoused as city council members increased sweeps and demolished encampments. In his new book, Homelessness is a Housing Problem, Greg Colburn says there is simply
It's breaking up.
not enough affordable housing.
Yeah, okay, so we're
to
gonna
meet the need.
stop.
We need lots
Okay,
and lots more
so
help.
needless to say, you get the gist. But that was 215. By the time it got to me, it was 194. So the bottom line is they systematically took their property. So I know there's about $6,000 worth of merchandise that one of the ladies had, and she's itemized every little item, and I told her to make a police report, and they are going to do a class action to go to Johnny Cochran's office. And one more thing, whatever else I told them to do. So there's more, but we had a truck that was going to go help one of the ladies in particular. And the man that was one of the staff kept telling them, just hold on, just hold on. We'll never give them a time for pickup or anything that would assist them at that moment. And then all of a sudden, one of the other employees saw her bicycle go out another door. So she had the bicycle and her luggage. And the same thing for another young lady that reported it to me. And these are people that don't really even know each other, and they definitely don't know I know any of them. So for those reports to come from various situations with eyewitnesses, that means the staff is doing this intentionally. So it's just a matter of them to pull the cameras, see what's going on, but they're taking advantage of these people. And it's not right, and it's not fair. And it's not even right for 50% of them to go back to the street, because the case manager should be on their job immediately when they come into the project. Immediately.
So,
It should not take.
so Tori, you haven't heard back from Cedillo's office yet?
Are you kidding me?
Okay,
Whoever Jose, you know, I have to, first he was on vacation, then something else, but I'm a go through all my emails again. It doesn't matter now at this point. I mean, because they're out. The hotel is boarded up.
Right.
Ready for the
So
sale.
so you don't know where these people have gone then?
I know where some of them are, because
Right.
some of them had to come over there in the building where we managing.
Okay.
So that's some of the ladies, and we got a whole nother issue with something.
Well, I know that Section 8 has this new program. I was on the phone with them the other night, or a Zoom call the other night, where what they're doing is, if you have income property units that are vacant, what Section 8 is doing now is they're offering landlords $1,300 a month just to fill out the application and interview people. But here's the thing with that. They're offering incentives for you to rent to Section 8 people. They're giving you $1,300 a month to interview that you get to keep, and then they're paying you. Let's just say you get a tenant that tears something up or breaks something in the unit or whatever. They're giving you also. They're saying that they will give you, I think, up to $1,000 in addition for any repairs that may happen. Here's the problem as a property owner, income property owner, and I know Donna can attest to this as well, is the problem with Section 8, taking Section 8 tenants. We are currently on an eviction moratorium. And what happens is when you get a tenant in from Section 8 that becomes a problem tenant, you cannot get them out because Section 8, they're done. They're not going to help you get them out. And there's no accountability. There's no accountability for these Section 8 people. And the landlord is holding the bag because here's the thing, you may be getting your rent for that Section 8 person, but if there's a problem and that person's on drugs or that person's violent or whatever, that bad tenant runs away your good tenants. So,
well, let's start fresh. That's why they're giving you an interview process, and hopefully the interview is more in depth than usual. Just a conversation to see where they are mentally, physically, etc. But my solution, I'm going to meet with one of the CEOs of one of these nonprofits next week. And my suggestion is even to her is that we have counseling before they even leave the interim housing, where you can do this up to the year that they're there to see what's what and give them a recommendation letter for Section 8 or what have you to let them know we've had no problems out of this particular person. I may have now I got a variety here, but it would be nice to give them a letter to take with them with their Section 8 package of our experience with them. See, now, yes, I have one that'll get up every day, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and she'll walk and cuss people out or what have you. Now, she wouldn't be one that we would send to you.
Right. But here's the thing, what Section 8 has to do, because I'm going to tell you right now, and everyone that I know who owns income property, we don't want to do Section 8 people. And the reason why, like I said, is because you cannot get them out. And Section 8 is still not guaranteeing you that they're going to help you do that. Until Section 8 can guarantee that they're going to help you get, because I'm a healthcare provider, I work with people who have mental illness. And like you and I are both saying, there is usually 99% of the time, there's more than one personality disorder at a time. If that person is not
necessarily,
in general, there's more than one personality disorder, trust me. But my point is this, if that person is not taking their medication, then it's a vicious cycle.
Beverly, I have a question.
Sure.
What do you propose to be the solution then if you have no alternative to
I'm saying that
I understand that scenario.
I'm saying that you gotta guarantee small mom and pops that if they take on these potential problems, there's no
guarantees in life, even if they're not.
There is a guarantee. There is a guarantee.
There's a guarantee if you do not take them, Tori. That's why we don't do it.
There you have it.
I agree. However,
there's the
guarantee.
Thank you, Donna. Yeah.
and Tori,
let me start all over.
Yeah. You have met
Donna and Beverly. Donna and Beverly.
Tori, you've met.
You guys will be the one. You'll be the percenters that do not take them. No, but there's a lot.
I have done it.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, I'm offering an intervention to assist the landlord of not taking those who are a problem. We're with these people for over a year.
Well,
I can give you a multitude of scenarios. But if they come with a letter that said we spent a year with these people, we've never had a problem out of this person, that don't guarantee you won't have it next year. But that don't guarantee you that anybody.
But what you need to add on to that letter is if we do have a problem with them,
Yes.
you will get them
Okay.
out. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, well, that'll be a collaboration with
No.
the Section 8. Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
Right.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Okay.
That would be a collaboration with the nonprofit or wherever you're getting them from and Section 8. That'll be something that has to be collaborated upon, and that'll be a Section 8 ensuing that process of the eviction part. If you have any problems. But what I'm saying is the likelihood of you having a problem with somebody that's been in the confines and the close quarters for over a year and never had any problem, then the likelihood is that you're not gonna have a problem. And then we can also give whatever triggers. And I'll give you another example. I just sat with 2 hours with this one young lady, very young. She had her first heartbreak, right? So she is crying and having a temper tantrum. And I just had to wait till she stop crying for a while, talk to her, explain to her, the reasoning behind whatever. Because I did get a chance to meet this boyfriend that she's crying about. But she has actually been the problem, not him. And so I had to explain to her her actions and how she has to be a better person and she has to work on herself, before anything. So it's not like we don't talk to them and go through counseling with them and get to the point. Well, you think she's gonna have a heartbreak every year? Hopefully not. Hopefully she'll never ever feel the pain again. But that's not likely. But if she did, it's a broken heart. She cried and cried and cried and cried and cried all night. But that's just one situation. That's just one.
Yeah, well, I suggest that you talk to Lassa and you let Lassa know, and based on the people that we've talked to who don't rent, who are not renting anybody right now because of rent freeze and eviction moratorium, that they need to protect small mom and pops. And until they do that, I got nothing for them. I got nothing.
Well, first of all, Lassa is not the only agency, and hopefully that's not who we will be dealing with. So hopefully the process will be optional. Say, for instance, if I recommend you one of the nonprofits, that's the nonprofit that you should say, I'm only taking Section 8 from that nonprofit. You know what I mean? So
when that nonprofit will come and help us remove an issue or a concern, then that's what we'll rent.
I got that
now,
part. I got that. But
question, Tori, I have a question for you. The people that stay in the program or in the housing that you're talking about for that year, if there is a problem, what happens? Do you remove them or do they stay?
Oh, well.
No, I want to know. I want to know what happened. I just need to know what happens when you have someone who
I'm going to tell you.
I had one break all the windows out in this space, in the unit.
Oh, Lord.
They broke all the windows out, her and her boyfriend. Okay?
Oh, Lord.
So I've learned the hard way.
No. But I know of the horror stories. You're not the only one. But what I'm saying is, we're looking closed. Donna. No, it's not. It is not, and it won't be.
My case is closed.
We just wouldn't refer to your situation. But
what do you do when you have a problem?
Well, I'm going to tell you, it depends on what the problem is. Very lenient when it comes to situations because we learn their behaviorisms and things like that and have a conversation. So far, so good right now, except for the one that cusses people out, and so a lot of people just ignore her and keep on walking.
Well, but, in regular housing, I could not count on my tenants who pay rent regularly to ignore that problem. Okay?
Right. But Donna, we are here for solutions. And so I'm trying to come up with a solution that will work for you, Beverly, and anybody else.
Have them guarantee. I have a Section 8 tenant right now. Let me tell you about Section 8. They haven't paid this girl's rent in over 13 months, and she still pays her portion, and I have not kicked her out. So that's how lenient I've been. That's Section 8.
But that's good.
But Section 8 hasn't paid. Right.
Yeah, Section 8. We need to get to the nitty gritty of that. I mean, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just, but I'm just trying to get you to understand that Section 8 has a lot of issues that they need to correct before they start asking people to take on the potential of problem tenants.
Okay, now has that been reported, Beverly? Has that been reported?
Yeah, I'm definitely in the works on that right now. Like I said, I haven't kicked her out. She's got to
And
help.
that's good.
Yeah,
And that's good.
But how
Okay,
many other
now,
people?
do you
How
know
many other
City
people
Hall?
I can do that
you
with?
know you know City Hall has a homeless and poverty committee, right?
Well, I don't know that. I guess I do now.
Okay, well, write that down. Look it up in City Hall, and you find out when those next meetings are. And you go and report that and ask that particular city council person.
Okay, so Corey, what's the name of that agency?
It's no agency. It's your City Hall. It's in City Hall. Homeless and Poverty Committee.
Okay, homeless and poverty. And what city council person?
Whoever your city council person is. Are you in the unrepresented area?
Yes, we're unrepresented.
That's so you still go to Homeless and Poverty Committee and you report to whoever's in charge.
Okay.
And then let them follow up with Section 8. There's solutions for everything. We can't keep on complaining. We have to find the solutions and work together.
Okay. I have one that maybe you can help me with the solution. Section 8 decided this particular tenant had committed, brought him in for a year or so, and then they said that tenant committed fraud, and they dropped them from Section 8. They were in place in the rental. Section 8 was no longer going to pay because they deemed them fraudulent, and they no longer would allow them to be on Section 8. They left them in that owner's space. The owner therefore had someone who was deemed committing fraud, wasn't paying their portion of the rent, and Section 8 was no longer paying anything either. So this person has had them in that unit for 2 years.
Well, they can go to the tenants union, and they have ACE. ACE is over by USC off of Grand. They deal with those type of issues, and they have attorneys on board that help with circumstances like that. And we have local tenant unions. You have a really strong tenant union in Hollywood. So I would take that route for that situation.
The tenant was committing fraud. What would the tenant?
But was it proven? Was it proven?
Yes, Section 8 did their, whole investigation and kicked them off Section 8 in the middle of a tenancy.
Okay, well, you need to get the tenant side and get their side and let the attorney deal with that. That's ACE, and let them take it from there.
Okay, I'll tell him. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Back to the Mayfair. So needless to say, this is happening across the board. Even at the Grand, I looked at some of the comments because somebody brought it up to me. Well, don't forget about the Grand. I said, well, the Grand has done pretty much the same thing. That video that we just saw with Laura, with Spectrum, it paints a picture as if they're not gonna let them in if they're not vaccinated and can't find the card. But there's a website where you can go and see if a person's been vaccinated. When they have a whole website and database that can be done now. And so they're not using the resources that have been put in place to make things easier, to make things flow. But now the Grand is turning into permanent housing, and they were shuffling them around again, putting them out from what that gentleman, one of them gentlemen was saying in the video. So, but somebody did report that to me as well. So it's like, and they specifically keep naming this one lady in particular, and how mean and rude and disrespectful she is to them. I say, now, if people gonna work with the people, at least have some compassion and learn their behaviors and see what's going on with them in their life. A lady came to me yesterday. She never knew her parents, never had parents, 8 years old. They probably child trafficked her, and so I'm surprised she's able to even have a conversation and trust anybody to tell that to, because she's never had anyone to direct her. She had, by, I guess, the grace of God or what have you, she ended up with us. And she just told me that yesterday, and she said, "Thank you for listening to me, and I appreciate it." She's very, very graceful. And so I was like, wow, okay, we got to take this a step further. So that's another reason why I was going to meet with the CEO next week to explain the phases that we could be of assistance along with the case management and getting them their permanent housing. You just can't throw anybody into an apartment. I agree with both Beverly and Donna about that, because sometimes they don't even know how to be inside. So they're learning to be in four walls as opposed to on the street, no tent, nothing. And if you saw some of these ladies walk down the street, well, you would never, ever in a million years think they were homeless. So I was like, wow, okay. And not everyone has mental illness. Not everyone is on drugs. Not everyone is alcoholic. So we just have to work with what we have, help those that we can, and stabilize those that need to be stabilized. And make sure, those that need meds, we don't really do that part. That's the case management part. But those that need meds, hopefully they will help them with taking them and get into a routine to do better. So we here to be part of the solution, not part of the problem, not to continue to complain. There's always a way to do something that's positive to help the circumstance and help the society. Because the world is like, it's very different.
No, and that's true. That's true, Tori. And like I said, I'm willing to help in any way I can, but I'm not going to sacrifice my livelihood for a city that doesn't really care. So
no, I agree.
Whatever I can do. I've worked hard for what I have, and I've gotten nothing from anybody. I've done this on my own, so I don't mind helping. Like I'm helping the one in the Section 8 one I have left. I don't mind helping her out because she's a decent person and she is sick. I'm saying, however, and Donna's the same way. She helps out a lot of people. So in any way we can help you, we just want to let you know what our issues are, so you can take them back to the people, and then they can fix that. And we're willing to help even more, but we need to be protected, and that's all we're saying.
Oh, and I agree. And Section 8, I can do a whole lot better. And that's up to us to hold them accountable as well. Because I took a lady over there, she was 90-something years old, and they going to tell her there's a 12-year waiting list. I said, really? Who actually works these waiting lists? How many people have they tracked to see if they already have a place or passed away or not on Section 8 anymore? So there's no way on God's green earth it can be 12 years waiting still, really.
And I'm going to tell you something else, and I don't mind saying this, and you should know, as a property owner who has had Section 8 people, and I have run into Section 8 people before, I've had Section 8 people come to me who are able-bodied, who get vouchers from people who work for Section 8. So Section 8 needs to be oversight. There needs to be oversight. And they need to be investigated, because there's a lot of people on Section 8 that really and truly don't and shouldn't qualify, because we've got veterans who are living and dying on the street who can't get any housing, and we need to change that. So again, just FYI, I've had people come to me who are able-bodied, working every day, and somehow got a voucher, and I don't rent to those people.
Wow, that's interesting.
Corruption at every level. Trust me, I hate this city.
No, it's different. So, but we have to again hold everybody accountable when you go to the Homeless and Poverty Committee, and we got to take it up through the levels in which we can.
Exactly.
And like you said,
we need to stay on these public officials who are getting $207,000 a year to do their job. Seriously.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because this whole fiasco of the Mayfair did not have to happen.
Right, exactly.
It did not. I went to city council ahead of time, way ahead of time. As soon as I knew about it, I emailed, and I went by the office. But that's neither here nor there. But there is going to be a fallout behind it. So we'll see what happens.
Tori, I just want to jump in. This is Laura. So we're at 8 o'clock. So that's one thing. And thing number 2 is that the Section 8 in HACLA, that's a federal program. I know they have an office here, but they're not reporting to City Council. So it's a different kind of corruption probe, just
Right.
FYI.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very difficult program. We also had Section 8, different circumstances, senior ladies mostly, but we had a situation where one of the elderly ladies had become, shall we just say, less than able to live on her own.
Right.
And her family lived nearby and actually took her home, but kept the apartment.
Yep.
Apparently a little too long, because we were getting paid and we were getting her checks and she was signing them, or so we thought. But apparently she had actually died. And yeah. But wait, it gets worse. We didn't know. Gets worse. In the end, the federal government needed us to pay them back.
Oh.
So it's a different problem. And when there's corruption among the tenants and they decide that a tenant did them wrong, as it were, the landlord's at risk on the other side. But we don't have local ability to control this program. So Tori, so it might be worthwhile to have a session sometime this year with representatives at that more federal level about what can be done, because obviously it can be a good program. It could be expanded.
Absolutely.
So I don't know that we can ever be protected about somebody who turns out to be a rotten worm in the apple.
Right.
Whether it's a HACLA the Section 8 voucher or other thing that gets them into an apartment, you still could end up with bad tenants.
Right.
So anyway, but we are at 8:03, so I don't know how you want to proceed, Tori.
Well, if everyone doesn't mind to give 5 extra minutes, I'm gonna just briefly go over the goals. Is everyone okay with that?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, sweetheart.
Okay. Well, as we know from our discussion, our lively discussion, which is exhilarating, because you come up with solutions when you discuss. But one of the goals for us is to make CD10, which is the area that we cover, is from Jefferson to Pico and from Western to Crenshaw, homeless free. That is the goal, and it's doable.
Awesome. Yeah.
So we just need to go out and do it. And I think that if each city council person who has a paid homelessness on board would be more active and come out with us periodically, because we know where all the nooks and crannies are, and assist with the situation, or at least hold the agency accountable that we refer them to, or come up with the RV park like we suggested, then that would be a big help. So I'm not sure why or who or what they do on their staff, but it don't seem to be focusing on any one area. I noticed in CD9, they cleaned up their overpasses, which is almost the only overpasses going on the 110 freeway. You can look up and see the tents.
Yeah.
But then I've noticed that they cleaned a couple of them, but then they come right back. They clean the sidewalks and they come right back. So I don't know who is actually helping them find real resources, but this could be resolved in a systematic manner. First, you get the ones that want to be housed. And then a lot of times, why don't they house them with who they're familiar with and they could help one another? Because the one lady that I was telling you with the domestic violence case, she pretty much needs somebody to help her do light housework and things like that. And she ended up with a 2-bedroom, but then again, they're saying that she didn't finish her paperwork now, even though they gave her the key and she did everything. But now they stole her stuff. So it's like a cycle. It's like a cycle that's just so horrifically horrible. And it's like every time she wants to break down and cry. I just say, don't cry, don't cry. Just I even helped her with the paperwork,
Tori,
what I could.
I'm
So
so
we
glad,
just
I'm so glad you brought this up because Johnny, the guy on the end of the freeway 10 entrance ramp that has
right, yeah. He's an artist, right?
Yeah, the guy is amazing. But let me just share this, and I'm so glad you brought this up. And basically, what it is there's no follow up with these people that they get housing.
Right.
And here's the thing, I saw him the other day. He came out because he actually likes being out there talking, and he's really a smart guy.
Right.
I have his address. I'm not sure that it is accurate, but he still needs help. He needs he needs sheets, he needs towels, he needs clothes.
I got somebody that's donating sheets today if you want them.
Okay, well, I'm going to go on next door because I have some things to take to him. But just so that and you can take this back, they need follow-up. I know. And they're not getting it. And I don't want to see him back on the street. And so I talked to him for about 20 minutes the other day, and the guy is amazing. He's really amazing.
Yeah, a lot of them are. It is amazing. Ooh, it's amazing.
Him. I mean, we need to have a system that once we get them into housing, we do follow up with them.
Yeah,
that's so important.
One girl, she's like a genius. She's a computer genius, literally. And she was injured really bad in the military and stuff. So it's like, whew, okay, so one thing causes another. Oh, who's that? But anyway, one thing leads to another. And so, as I was saying, for the pain that they've endured, getting hit by buses, getting hit by landmines, getting hit by whatever they've been hit with, sometimes that makes them, they have to be very diligent not to get hooked on their pain medications. So that's another thing that has to be monitored and assisted. So, but again, that's why I'm gonna offer to them to have this monitoring and counseling ahead of time before they actually go to permanent housing, so they can have their resources with them, as opposed to going in on the back end. But for the preventative side, you do have to go on the back end sometime to prevent them from going back out. But we're here to help. We have a team. Let's do it. Call me next week, Beverly. Yes, any of you that have my number, and we'll just go out and at least hit 4 or 5 of them at one time.
I'd be more than happy to do that. Also, too, there's Senate Bill 1338, which is circling through Sacramento right now, and I'm sure Laura knows about it. But it's a bill that they're trying to pass that says that the county can conserve mentally ill people against their will for up to 1 to 2 years. So just FYI, you guys, that's out there. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Here's the thing though, when you're mentally ill, and I've worked in locked facilities as a healthcare provider, the problem is that you put them on a 51, 50, 52, 50 hold, and you can hold them up to a maximum of 21 days, which gives us an opportunity to get them into housing, get them on medication as soon as they get into the facilities, the lockdowns. But here's the thing, they go into these board and cares, but they still have the freedom to leave when they want. And when they have a curfew and rules and regulations, but what happens is eventually they get back into the cycle. So you spend all that time, energy, effort, and money, and they're back out on the street. So this law is supposed to help. I don't know how well it's going to work because there's no place to facilitate them, but whatever. But it's a Senate Bill 1338. So you guys look that up and try to stay focused on and informed on what's going on with that. Because
make sure you're looking at 2022, because that was just this year, right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, so those bills change numbers per year. Some of them are repetitive and some of them are different. Yeah. So make sure we talk about that when I see you guys. Hopefully, maybe Tuesday morning. Tuesday or Thursday.
Tuesday or Thursday, Tuesday or Wednesday morning is good for me, and if that works for everybody else, we can just all get together and figure out. Time.
Well, I have an 8 to 10 meeting every Wednesday, so anytime after 10 o'clock, so 11-ish.
Nuriel, is that good for you? Tuesday or Wednesday?
Sorry, I had to unmute there. Yeah, actually the Wednesday might work pretty well for me.
Okay.
Okay. Well, let's plan on Wednesday, and then
Yeah.
we'll
I
we'll
sometimes
go to
have
at least
stuff that comes up
5.
last minute during the day, during the week, but let's plan on that for now.
Nuriel,
Okay.
what is your phone number?
Oh yeah. It's a 310
Uh-huh.
923
Okay.
3702.
3702. Got it. All right.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay.
Okay. So, any announcements or anything? Any announcements?
Oh, yes. There will be on the 20th of August at Benny Potter Annex, right next to Arlington. That's 24th, 2nd Avenue at the Benny Potter Park. We are having the opportunity to talk to your SLOs, the Southwest Department, Police Department, and anybody who doesn't necessarily live south of the freeway. You'll still be able to get information about issues and concerns. We'll have neighborhood prosecutor, we'll have traffic, we'll have many departments, as well as the captain of Southwest. At 10 o'clock in the morning to 1, there'll be continental breakfast in the morning. There'll also be a small resource fair with street services, street lighting, sanitation, and Mike is supposed to be there, Tori. So share it, please. Come out. There will be a flyer shared around. That's the 20th of August, right there at Arlington and 24th Arlington, right at 2nd Avenue at the park under the pavilion, and we'll all be out. So please come. SLOs from all areas within Southwest, as well as the neighborhood prosecutor, the captain, and traffic and other areas.
Okay, Laura, will we have a table already there?
I don't know. Do you know that I'm not president anymore?
I know, but you know.
Well, I do know everything it seems, but
you're
okay, Donna, could you make
we're
sure
hoping
we have a table?
the outreach committee will participate, but
Laura, you're gonna always
Laura knows about that.
Yeah, make sure we have a table, please, Donna, please.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try.
Okay, try hard. Okay, so we will. Any other announcements or
not?
August 20th. 10
We'll
o'clock
officially
at the park.
We got it. August 20th.
Okay,
we'll
Tori.
officially adjourn the meeting at 8:14 p.m. And thank you for the consideration to extend a few minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tori.
Good night, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you.
We'll see you Wednesday.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Thank you for coming.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Who was up with the iPhone? And caller and user 1. Who's that? Oh. Oh, okay, that's right. Got that. Caller and user 1. Who was that? Laura, you know?
I don't.
Okay, well, have a good night.
Yes, thank you so much, Tori.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.